Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about some things that you can do to get a head start on your goals for next year. So if any of you all are like me, I start off every year with so much motivation and good intentions on getting this whole list of things accomplished. You know, from being more consistent in my exercise, to better managing my finances, to reading a certain number of books a year, to spending more time with family and friends, or the list goes on and on. And I start every year so motivated with such great intentions, but as you all know, as the year goes on, we tend to lose that motivation, and at some point it gets to be so late in the current year that we just say, oh well, I'll do it next year. And I've been thinking about that and not wanting next year to be the same, wanting next year to be even better than this year. And so I've been thinking about things that I can do now to get a head start on next year.
Because he's got good brains.
And so I wanted to share some things that I plan to do with you all so that we can accomplish our goals together. So the first tip is to create a list of goals. Creating a list of goals is so important because it helps you to create a roadmap and to determine what's important to you. When you have your goals written down, it makes it so much easier to sit down and review your goals whenever you feel like you're getting off track. From your list of goals, then make a 1-year plan. What do you want to accomplish in the next year? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to get in shape? Do you want to spend more time with family and friends? Do you want to travel? Do you want to do all of those things? Because you can do everything that you want to do, but you have to have a plan in order to make it all happen. When the clock strikes 11:59 on December 31st of 2020, what do you want to be able to say that you've accomplished? So after you've created your 1-year plan, look at your current routine and habits and determine if your habits are in support of your plan or if they may be hindering you from reaching those goals. Can you identify some ways in which a change in your habits and your routines would put you in a better position to be successful in reaching those goals? A lot of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis are so routine and habitual that we don't give it much thought. That's what a habit is. So for a lot of us, we wake up at the same time every day, get out of the bed on the same side, we go in the restroom. Some of us, brush our teeth before we get in the shower. We brush our teeth after we get out in the shower. Like, all of us have a routine whether we realize it or not. And so, like the old saying, in order to get something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done, which may require a change in your routine, whether it be, how you start your day, the things that you're doing in the middle of your day, or even how you end your day. Something has got to change if you want to see different results. That brings me to my next point. Make adjustments as needed. If you are somebody that tends to wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, but you realize that by the time you get home, you're too tired to get other things done that would help you better reach your goals, then maybe you need to look at waking up a little bit earlier. And in order to wake up a little bit early in the mornings, that means that you'll have to adjust the time that you were going to bed. So all of that stuff works together. You can't expect to be successful if you do not change some of the things that you are doing. So as you're making those adjustments, revisit your goals. Look at the things that you're changing in your day-to-day life, and then see if you find yourself getting closer to the things that you want to achieve. I can't stress enough that it's so important that you review your goals often, because as we're going throughout the year, we tend to lose motivation, and oftentimes that's because, one, we haven't written a goal. Scientific research has suggested that when you write stuff down, you are more likely to achieve it, because it's almost like you're making a pact with yourself by actually writing it down. Writing things down, creating a vision board, it's almost like it provides a rehabilitation for yourself, your mind, your energy on those days where you kind of, you feel stuck, you don't really know what you're doing, why you're doing it. You can go back and revisit your goals and refresh yourself and make more adjustments as needed to make sure that the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis are contributing in a positive way to the overall achievement of your goals for the year. And with that, I would suggest keeping track of any pitfalls or struggles that you experience as you're making those adjustments. Also, keep track of the small successes along the way. And in doing that, you will be able to, again, revisit those notes and So maybe if I implement something that helped me be successful with that goal, it'll make this goal a little bit easier to achieve. So by keeping track of things that work for you and things that don't work, you become, you increase your own self-awareness. Everybody is different, so what works for me may not work for the next person and vice versa. And I also just believe in keeping track of your growth, so that on the days where you don't feel like you're making any progress, you can look back at old notes, old journals, and say, wow, like I used to think like this is where my thinking was a year ago. And you can see those small changes, because again, as you're going through life, we get so wrapped up in the day-to-day that we oftentimes can't see even the small subtle changes that we're making, and those may be the things that's making the biggest difference in our lives. And as you implement these steps, you'll start achieving your goals, and once you achieve a goal, you repeat the cycle to keep achieving more things. Some goals you may find that it makes more sense for you to tackle one at a time. With other goals, you may be able to tackle 2 or 3 at the same time, but you'll only know that if you're really taking the time to figure out what works and doesn't work for you. And lastly, my biggest takeaway message would be, when you don't make a plan, you are actually planning to fail. Not planning is a plan. It's a plan to fail. There's no way that you can achieve your goals if you are not conscious of the things that you are doing on a day-to-day basis. And so, for example, if one of your goals is to become debt-free, looking at your daily habits, your weekly habits, are you somebody that tends to eat out every day opposed to buying groceries at the start of the week, meal prepping, and taking your lunch to work every day? Are you somebody that goes out every weekend and you tend to spend $200 and $300 out, having drinks or shopping a lot? Just small things like that add up. And, if you take the time to sit down and look at your spending habits and the things that you're doing from day to day, you'll find how some of our habits can really be stunting our successes. And just because you have a goal set does not mean that you have to neglect yourself of having fun. Using the example of somebody who may enjoy going out every weekend and buying a lot of drinks while you're out, you may find it cheaper to drink before you go out and then Uber to your destination. And that way you're saving so much money, because not only, of course, do you have to buy your drink, sometimes you feel obligated to buy the friend next to you a drink, and you have to tip the bartender, and all of that stuff just starts to add up. And so I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm not preaching anything to you all that, I am not trying and implementing in my own life. I really want all of us to use this time in the year to really propel ourselves into the next year, to start making changes now that will be beneficial to us in the upcoming year, and not waiting until January the 1st to try to figure it all out and then at the same time start tackling these goals. So I will see you all in the next video. Talk to you soon.